Hey the rulers, DMO73 here, and it's time to dig into Josh Furey's first take on Yggdrasil and Lenneth. Let's jump right in. This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for products, and FoulLibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists, as well as our guest lecturer members Vite Ramen and Darren Noblock. Class is in session. So here is the list. Just a reminder though that Force of Will Festival 2023 is this month, so you absolutely need to go check out all the information in the description so we make sure to see you there. It's going to be insane. It's going to be an awesome event. 3 days of just a ton of fun. Hope to see you there. So Yggdrasil, Lenneth, the tag combination that we all kind of called but also are really excited about. So Lenneth obviously operates as this wonderful like filter through the deck, which gives us some really nice tools and the ability to play some kind of tech one-ofs and just like, hey, this isn't gonna work, filter it away, which is nice. And then obviously we have the replacement effect of Yggdrasil, which lets us essentially save ourselves from death one time to be able to pull out good old Avatar Alice, who just takes all the damage that we would take instead, as well as at Blade of the Seven Lands Avatar Excalibur X to pump up Avatar Alice, as well as give ourselves and her protection. So really just kind of this backup strat of we don't want to die, which is great. Stone base wise, we're playing 3 Adoraktia's Memoria, 4 Light Moon Fragment, 1 Wanderer's Moon, 1 Chaos Moon, and 1 Amadeus. We want as consistently as possible red, white, green. The biggest deck colors of this deck are honestly white and red, so we want that more often than not. And so let's go into the deck from there. So we're playing 4 copies of World Tree Fairy. Wonderful card to be able to get those reveals happening quickly. She can serve really nicely to just help push in damage. I mean, you get 2 or 3 reveals and suddenly she's swinging in the air for 900 damage, which is crazy considering how she'll have barrier most likely from the colors that your opponent is playing, which is great. Also, we have World Tree Dragon, a great way to help clear board states, as well as, again, serve as a flying beat stick, as well as some filtering through the deck, which is awesome. 2 copies of Light of the World Tree, just for some additional protection for some early aggression, as well as getting another reveal and getting some more fairy tokens, which is great. 3 copies of World Tree Phoenix, this amazing little kind of reanimator to help us on reveal if we need for more for Starry Rages, as well as being able to serve those inheritance effects, which is awesome. 2 copies of King's Hopeful Gleam, just a great card that does a lot of work here for being able to pump up boards and finish things off, as well as get that token. The fact that we can get its seal unlocked with Pandora, Queen of Miracles, is really nice. So because of its ability to unlock the seal abilities of light cards you control, so then suddenly this card is just free right out the gate, which is awesome. Next up, we have 3 copies of Starry Rage, a wonderful card because it can't be canceled, and it's a really easy way to just wipe that board, which is awesome. We have the Contract. Obviously, we're playing 4 copies of it, and then it is a really nice way to be able to put some pressure in, as well as get that instant speed Avatar Alice if we want it on the God's Art side, rather than having to worry about getting killed. So a more proactive Avatar Alice is great. 2 copies of Lumia just for some life gain here to kind of, again, we already have that buffer from Tree, so let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more of a buffer, as you saw play out in the match, with being able to heal ourselves on the turns our opponents are trying to go in. 2 copies of Electra, because we want to be able to chop down Dark Tree, and it's also just a really good card for a finisher in general. 1 of each of the Avatar and Blade of the Seven Lands. Again, that 1-of copy of Inheritor of the Star Legacy. It's not going to come up very often, but we can filter it away if we feel like we're not going to get to it. And the nice thing is, again, being able to just potentially slam down an Avatar Alice that has Eternal for the entire game just means that, like, unless they can bounce it or give us life loss, we just don't die, which is really nice. 2 copies of Divine Lightning as an additional way to be able to shut off Dark Tree, as well as stop contracting decks like Asuka if we need to. A couple copies of Killua, Fossil Girl in the Cities for some utility pieces. 4 copies of number 13 Anti-Magic because we can unseal it with Pandora, so for a little cancel package. And then Lingering Scent of the Fairies is really nice with World Tree Fairy, because you can just flicker in World Tree Fairy, get a reveal, put it back in your hand, draw a card, then replay World Tree Fairy, and just like turn 1 World Tree Fairy into 2 reveals, and it's just really, really nice. So that is the deck. As always, you can find a link to this deck list on Force of Wind in the description below, but let us know how you've been trying out Lenneth, and if we will see you playing it at FowFest this year. Until then, though, class dismissed.